Why, hey, howdy, welcome back. We're here with more...
I almost said the name of the wrong game.
What game were you going to say?
We Know the Devil.
That's a different game. Also good. Not this game. Oh, hello there.
Oh, hey, it's that guy.
It's that guy.
It's depressing as hell in here.
What? Wow, I sounded like you for a moment.
What?
I was voicing Morgan.
You're right.
Wow, it is depressing as hell in here. They need to liven this place up. Whips out her iPod, starts...
Alexa, play Despacito.
Alexa. Carlos flat, am I right? Wow, they weren't kidding. You are pretty flat. Hope you don't mind if I get comfortable. We've got a lot to cover. But this shouldn't take all night.
What are you... Look, I already told you people I didn't...
I'm not a cop, Carlos. Furthest thing from it. I'm a lawyer. Your lawyer, in fact. And I am here to help you.
Yeah, well, they said that too. All of them did. Back there in here, kept repeating it the whole ride over.
Ah.
They said that they were going to help me, that they knew this was all a mistake. Then they said that I killed, acting like they were on my side, and they thought that I could have...
It's not their job to help you, Carlos. But it is mine. And I am here. Now.
Your bolo tie makes me instantly trust you.
It is a real... Very few people could pull off a bolo tie, I gotta say.
Bolo tie, inexplicable harness, corset, dress shirt.
That is...
Quite a look. Quite a look.
That, like, I... Whatever else you want to say about her, it is a look. He is still in shock. I need more information, but if I approach it the wrong way, he'll just clam up even more. I'm sure you're exhausted, and it's probably difficult to think, let alone to speak right now. But I would like you to try and answer a few questions.
The police already...
Questioned you, I'm sure. But they were treating you as a suspect, not as a client.
Okay.
And I think that's an important distinction to make. When the cops question you, no matter how they're acting, they have a different agenda than, say, a lawyer who's on your side. Get a lawyer.
So, what do you want to know?
Let's start with... Let's start...
Let's start with about you.
Yeah. Let's start simple, something mundane, grounded, and rote. I'd like to know a bit more about you first, Carlos. Something like... Oh, sorry. That was his saying something like...
Wait, was it?
Yeah, whatever. What kind of work are you in?
I'm with city engineering.
That doesn't help that part, but still.
Or I was, or I should be.
As I thought, the police must be convinced he mapped the optics blackouts using data he stole from work.
My arm, I got it slotted for the job, and,
Carlos, I'm gonna need more than that. So what do I do now? He works in city engineering, not a desk job. Reyes said he was modded for work, and that arm must be in custody at the moment, but based on his shoulder, it'd have to be pretty... Wait, don't we know it's in the shop still?
Yeah. Utilitarian, I think.
Yep. Utilitarian, yeah. He doesn't strike me as the type who's enamored with the aesthetics of modding. Yeah, well, and also, it's not so much that it seems like he's enamored with aesthetics. It's more that he got it for its job.
Yeah.
Right? The young and restless and the rich swapping in neon and chrome limbs because they like the way it looks. Or the way it makes other people start looking at them. No, he's pragmatic, grounded, and very unlucky. In which case, I should be too. You know, oh, because she's like, how do I empathize most?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, good. You know, my brother wanted to mod.
Really?
Really? I don't even have a brother. He had everything planned out, a whole career path of promotions and bonuses and upgrades they'd afford him. I also like the subtlety of the cops are lying to him. She is also lying
to him.
But at least we can trust that she is paid to do something that is in his best interest, right? Then came his 18th birthday present, test results politely informing him that he's not a viable candidate.
That sucks.
I think he felt relieved, actually. Seemed like it was a weight off his chest. He was glad he didn't have to choose. Does that make any kind of sense?
Yeah, I think it does. I always figured if I'd start at all, I'd start small, a hand or an eye, test the water.
That's small? I mean, I guess I don't know.
It's smaller than a whole arm.
It's smaller than a whole... Hear me out. Hear me out. I would feel more scared getting an eye replaced with a cybernetic eye for the first time than I would having a cybernetic arm.
That's true, because the eye is basically your brain. That would also scare me more.
It's more the fact that if the eye thing goes wrong and the cybernetic doesn't work for some reason, the eye is gone. If the arm cybernetic doesn't work, there are still like low-tech arm prosthetics you can have.
True.
Right? It won't be the same, but to me, that sounds like less of a risk. I mean, I guess you lose fine motor you lose like dexterity in one hand, but then just use your non-dominant arm. I don't know. It seems backwards to me.
Never thought about lobbing my whole damn arm off, but the recruiter was enthusiastic. He said because of the NCDA, there was financial aid and resources. Of course, that got shit-canned, so now me and every other modder is royally screwed. Couldn't even let me keep the tax credit.
The new Citizens with Disabilities Act was amended, not repealed. But I doubt he'd appreciate the distinction at the moment.
I worked the tighter spaces, the high-volt environments, mostly canopy upkeep. Typical stuff for modders, you know?
He's speaking freely now. Don't need to do much more than repeat his words back to him to keep him talking. But the right word choice here and there can still make a difference. You work on the canopy. You must be...
Oh, interesting. Under a lot of pressure is unlocked. We gotta select that.
Must be under a lot of pressure now that the subways are cordoned off.
Damn straight, and this crap with long...
Hey, we are doing pretty okay with this. So, I mean, this is the case 0, but still, I feel like we're at least demonstrating fluency with the basics of the mechanics.
Once word got out that the case against him was real, every desk job in the chain became terrified of their own shadow. All of them convinced that Internal Affairs is going to come knocking if they misplace so much as a paperclip.
Who was Long again?
I do not recall anybody named Long.
Did we have any...
I don't believe so.
I just want to double check.
Maybe it was a political figure or something? I don't know.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't a thing that we were... Oh gosh, we've got so much on our phone to read, and we will do that after this conversation with the...
Everything by the book means no room for compromise, no room for problem solving.
No room for engineering.
Yeah. And no patience for screw-ups.
He's trying very hard not to look at his shoulder. Why aren't you wearing your prosthetic right now, Carlos?
Yeah, that. Rejection issues starting last month. A lot of sleepless nights.
Rejection? Did the therapy not take?
It's not like that. I wasn't oozing pus out of my sockets or anything.
Then do these rejection issues have anything to do with your scars?
Not in the way you're thinking. I'm right-handed.
So those cuts on his face are just from shaving?
Never thought this would go on so long. I'd have to relearn how to do everything.
See, that was the thing. It's like, if I was getting a prosthetic one, I'd do my non-dominant arm. Because prosthetic doesn't care, right? Oh, actually,
maybe it does. Maybe it does.
Maybe it does. I don't actually know the neurobiology of what's the phrase for this. It's not dominant Z, just full stop. It's like left side, right side, hemispherical. I don't know what the neurobiology behind that is. Maybe it is a brain. Maybe it is in like the arm itself.
Yeah, imagine you get your turbo engineering arm, but you can't fucking control it because it's as clumsy as your non-dominant hand usually is. And it's like, well,
yeah.
Oh well.
Huh. I'm super curious about this now. Anyway, we learn how to do everything, huh?
I mean, the problem started small, trembling, but then spasms. Just oversensitivity, they said, an easy fix.
But then the problem got bigger. Also, he's got spasms in his mechanical arm.
That would explain the broken thing.
Explains the broken thing, but it also means he's not firing a weapon with precision.
Yep.
Right? Because either way, you're asking him either to use an arm that's spasming or his non-dominant arm.
Yep.
Right? Yeah.
Couldn't let it get that far. Need to be able to trust your own hands when you're on the job site. Drop a cutter at the wrong moment and people could get hurt. So I sat down, made an appointment, turned in my arm, and watched my case get placed at the back of the damn line.
Where did you turn it in?
Some mass turnaround chop shop with a waiting list like you wouldn't.
Doesn't sound like you're a happy customer.
Hell no, I'd found a dozen other clinics with shorter wait times. But as long as I'm renting and not owning.
Oh, that's fucked up. The manufacturer decides where your arm gets maintenance.
And that's why I'm sitting here with this expensive-ass stump for a shoulder. I haven't been able to work in weeks. Bosses were generous enough to say my position might still be there when I got 2 working arms again.
You couldn't buy a renter replacement yourself just in the meantime?
I serve at the pleasure of the state. And they've got exclusivity contracts with Hindi all locked up white-knuckle tight.
Hindi? How Industries? Oh. Hindi, yeah. So I recall he's registered with one of their Habilis models.
If I took one step on site with uninsured tech, forget the fines, I'd lose the down payment and my arm. And I'd never work in this city again. If this was last quarter, maybe I could have worked something out with management, but like I said, no one's sticking their neck out for anyone now that Long's in deep hot shit.
Okay, so who is Long?
We don't know.
You mentioned discomfort. Are you in pain?
Pain will come and go, it's the itches that kill you. And the phantoms come back pretty fast when I don't have anything. Arm-shaped attached to me.
Didn't they give you something to wear in the meantime? Something clinics lend out for cases like this.
What they gave me is a deadweight, 3-jointed, landfill bait piece of shit.
Ah.
Sorry, it's a very shitty feeling having a part of your body that you know they cut corners on.
Ah.
It fits, it's compatible, technically. I can slot it in and feel on balance again, but the fingers don't even bend, and the quick twitch motors are way off. It's like walking around with your arm asleep, or dead.
So were you wearing it when... Okay, so he does have a temporary prosthetic, but the fingers don't bend on the temporary.
So he couldn't shoot with that arm at all.
Were you wearing it when you were arrested?
No, I wasn't. But I'm pretty sure I saw the police bagging it as evidence, so...
Interesting. We didn't see that as evidence.
Can't have gotten too far.
Detective Reyes was being quite literal about how he was found. And the victim's blood on his left arm only. Because at the time in question, he didn't even have a right. No inconsistencies in the story so far, and he's opened up about as well as can be expected. This has all just been a warm-up for the both of us. Now comes the delicate part. Alright, before we continue on here, I do want to...
Let's catch up,
Yeah, let's catch up on a bunch of stuff here. Let's read Flat's profile. Hi, Flat. July 8th. Civil engineer canopy. Likes airports. Interesting. Worn shoes and firm beds. Alright. Dislikes cabs, musicals, and cashews. That's fair. Cashews are... I like a cashew in a vacuum. Like, I like the idea of a cashew.
I don't. I like them in my mouth.
But they're also... There's no hiding the fact that they are the filler of mixed nuts, right?
This is not the first time you have expressed this opinion.
I'm just saying, if I buy mixed nuts, I don't want cashews plus some friends they invited. Favorite flower? Poppies. Student debt? Sizable. Luck poor. Oof. All right.
What's the preferred mixed nut?
The preferred mixed nut?
Yeah.
I don't even mind cashews as a part of it. Cashews are good. It's just one among many would be nice.
I see.
I think walnuts are underappreciated in that context.
Okay. I like the humble Brazil nut myself.
All right, we got more evidence. Let's look at this. Victim.
The victim, Diane Dawn, was a 27-year-old agricultural genetics researcher for Perigee Laboratories. Found shot through the heart in the bedroom of the apartment she shares with prime suspect Carlos Flat. No known connection with previous HK victims.
Okay. Coat.
The coat the suspect was wearing when taken into custody. Taken by lab techs for additional analysis, but initial tests show blood on the left sleeve matches that of the victim.
Okay.
Revolver. A Calver M54 6-chamber 10mm revolver. Bears fingerprints matching Carlos Backer Flat's left hand with 99.91% certainty.
Again, his non-dominant hand.
Rifling marks match the bullet which pierced the victim with 99.97% certainty. Rifling marks match the bullets from previous heartbreak killings with 99.98 to 99.989% certainty. No matches to any other archive forensic data as far back as 2051.
Flat's, right, we've seen the note from Flat.
Yep.
Sorry for everything, can't say it enough, didn't mean to hurt you or do what I did. Not want any of it to happen, can't stay in control when I get mad. I'm not in control when I hurt people without meaning to. Hadn't broken them, didn't mean to at first, but I was hurting. I wanted you to hurt too, but I didn't want to hurt you. So did she have like a collection of like ceramic dolls or something?
Maybe.
Like something, didn't mean to break them. Like, is that what the ceramic stuff is? That was a collection of things that were important to his girlfriend?
Could be.
At the time. Do what I've been avoiding. What do we think he means by what he's been avoiding in this case? Is there some other action he could be taking?
I was wondering if it was taking the arm in. Because
it seemed like it's been in there for a while.
So yeah, I don't know what he's been avoiding.
Yeah, but so that would imply this note is is old, right? Do what I've been avoiding. I think there's something there, but it seems like he's done everything he can do, at least from the way he said it, right?
Yeah.
He brought his arm in and he can't work right now. Maybe it's something like finding a different job in the meantime. Flat's prosthetic.
A Howe Industries Habilis 2085 mechanical limb. Boasts impressive grip strength, dexterity, and low cost of maintenance. The success of it and its sister products went a long way towards securing state contracts for Howe Industries. Submitted 5 weeks ago at a Howe-partnered prosthetic adjustment clinic, average waitlist duration of 40 business days due to user-reported sensitivity issues.
Yeah, got it. So, Flat's rental.
The Howe Industries Bronzier 2081 prosthetic limb. An affordable model, customers frequently cite issues with finger articulation and quick twitch movements. Records show Carlos Flat was provided this model while his habilis is being repaired, but he claims to rarely wear it. Currently in police custody.
Right. Issues with finger articulation and quick twitch movements. Yep. Okay, cool. All right. We got some new search terms as well. Oh, God, we got a lot of...
Yeah.
Let's start from the bottom. Digital autopsy.
A post-mortem examination of an individual's electronic footprint. The law enforcement process of locating, bypassing authentication on, and investigating all of a deceased individual's online profiles. Commonly used to seek out possible connections to suspects or other victims. The widely utilized practice has been scrutinized in the past by some privacy advocates, but many victims' families who lack the ability to find, let alone access, all of their deceased loved ones' accounts argue for its necessity. Comparable processes are offered as a paid service by some legal or funerary groups to help next of kin recover or delete sensitive personal data. At times, these services have been marketed as a defense against data criminals attempting to steal the identities of the dead before their accounts are wiped by state processes. Users also frequently searched for grave cobbling, how to stop stolen identity, how to delete dead profile.
Sounds right. Net scrubbing.
The process of macro-scraping all unencrypted data in a given time and place. Refers to the process of scouring all available data posted on the net within a certain time frame and location range for evidence of a crime. an increasingly common technique for police departments, corporate investigators, and occasionally public relations firms. While the brute force work is performed by automated dependents, either digital or physical, experienced human supervisors must establish strict search constraints in order to produce usable results.
Which makes sense, right? If you cast too wide a net, it's not going to give you anything useful.
Interest in the practice spiked when Senator Bancroft positioned it as a key pillar of his party's law and order platform. But pollings indicated voters rarely held a strong opinion on the process, and the topic has since faded from political discourse.
Mods.
Body modifications, aka mods, is a term that may refer to cybernetic prosthetics, artificial implants, neural enhancements, or any combination of the above.
Mods, body this man.
While body modifications have been seen throughout history and across a wide range of cultures, the modern body modification movement is differentiated by a shift from intrinsic factors, expression or identity, to extrinsic motivators, job opportunities, technological benefits, improvements in physical or mental ability. Historically, mods have been classified based on which section of the user's spinal cord the interfacing occurs at, thoracic, lumbar, or cervical. But this system does not account for mods which interact directly with the human brain. The increased prevalence of so-called above-the-neck modding in recent years has led to several corporations and medical organizations proposing their own new classification systems, but so far none have gained much traction. Users also frequently searched for, "Can you return mods? Can you undo mod surgery? Best reviewed neural implants 2086.
Well, that's upsetting. God, just imagine the amount of people who regret something like a tattoo, right? I'm not saying it's high, but the fact that if you're of age and you're drunk, you can go get a tattoo or something, and that's permanent. You can't do anything about it.
I mean, you can.
You can't. You can adjust it, right? But you've made an unchangeable. You've done something unchangeable to your body. I'm imagining that kind of laissez-faire attitude, but towards lopping something off and replacing it with a really bad prosthetic. That's a little bit upsetting. Calver
Firearms Incorporated, a manufacturer of civilian firearms from 2031 to 2062, when it was bought out by Thortec, an acquisitions group specializing in security and national defense, now a subsidiary of the Lock-Kuhn Defense Corporation. Though no guns have borne the Calver branding since production halted in 2060, the once iconic brand was briefly revived in 2071 Q2, with a series of video game memorabilia tie-in promotions meant to increase in-game item sales, before being discontinued in 2071 Q3 for failing to increase in-game item sales.
Heartbreak Killer.
We encountered an issue while processing your request. Hey there, it looks like you're trying to search for a term related to an ongoing investigation. Until authorities have made their findings public, results may be heavily curated or temporarily unavailable. Read more about how we cooperate with authorities to combat disinformation here.
This is interesting because what kind of search engine is Morgan using here?
The search engine.
Huh?
The search engine.
The search engine, right? This isn't like a private corporation Google thing. This is the search engine. This sounds like on some level it is state-owned. Which is...
Or corporate owned, and that's just all there is, corporations.
Okay, fair enough. You're right. I forgot what setting we were in.
I had a weird real-life moment like that recently, where there was a thing that I knew was a common topic of discussion, and that did not show Google results, and was politically controversial, and that was likely why. And it was like, wow. That's fucking weird.
That's fucked up. Maybe it's time to switch to Bing. Ask Jeeves? What are people using? Lycos. We could use Lycos search.
It was just strange seeing people literally discuss a topic in one page on my browser and then seeing in another the search results suggesting that there was no such thing. And it was like, this is literally a copy and pasted bit from that page over there. So I know it's in here, but
That's,
shrug.
That's weird. You'll have to tell me what you were trying to search for later on. Anyway, optics. Opt-in crime surveillance system.
The Opt-in Crime Surveillance System, abbreviated as Optics, is a partnership program between the state and private enterprises that allows for the free sharing of surveillance and security data to better promote and preserve public safety. Accessible through state employee logins or private partner accounts, Optics Smart UI allows users to search through and collate footage from a city of tens of millions in just a few simple keystrokes. Optics is frequently cited in state reports as one of the most effective tools for reducing crime, and footage from Optics often serves as key evidence in criminal proceedings where it is considered admissible by default. See People vs. Erawan. Users also frequently searched for public safety measures in my area, daily security level.
Admissible by default, huh? Interesting. I wonder what happened in the Erawan case. Now, one thing that's here between the state and private enterprise... Call it footage from a city of tens of... Okay, so okay, so this could be used in any city, not just city we are in.
Maybe.
I'm trying to figure out if this is like a thing unique to this place, or if this is because we actually don't even know much about the state we're in either.
Yeah, I don't believe it says.
Oh, hold on, what's up with my mouse? It was my Risk of Rain controller, if you needed to know.
I see.
Virtual work release.
Hey there, due to ongoing controversy following the suspected suicide of inmate Jay Gallet, search results for this term are temporarily blocked. Learn more about how we cooperate with authorities to combat disinformation here.
VWRP. Virtual work release. Suspected suicide of inmate Jay Gallet. What the heck is that about? That sounds like a whole thing that's maybe not relevant to this case, but is definitely worth keeping in mind for future things.
Yeah.
So an inmate commits suicide, and that's related enough to the term virtual work release. So was there some kind of regret over doing it or something like that? Huh. Well, keep that in the back of your head for later. Mods, give this man therapy.
The process of adjusting the human mind and body for the unique challenges and stresses that come with cybernetic body modifications. Typically includes physical therapy, mental technique instruction, and sensitivity training. Depending on an individual's viability or lack thereof, medications and even minor viral tuning may be employed to modify the body's immune response. But improvements made in recent years to medically sterile alloys have greatly reduced the percentage of the patients that require such treatment.
Okay. Hindi.
How Industries is the world leader in the research, development, manufacturing, and fitting of cybernetic prosthetics for commercial and private use. And we're hiring. We're seeking motivated and passionate archivists, programmers, salespeople, and college graduates with degrees in digital archaeology, cybernetic anatomy, and more. Not interested in sponsored search results? See further with a premium account.
So, are we meant to take that How Industries runs this search engine as well, or that they bought an ad to add that to the search engine results for themselves? That's phantoms. Mods. Phantom is pain.
Pain or discomfort that the brain experiences is coming from an amputated part of the body. When stimuli drops coming from a part of the body that is no longer there, the areas of the nervous system that were previously devoted to processing those sensations reconfigure themselves to still be of use. Occasionally, the brain mistakes this new sensory processing as still being associated with pain or sensation from the amputated limb. Because of the large mental element at play, therapy for phantom pain reduction necessarily involves psychological conditioning and often the use of prosthetics. Phantom pain has become more widely experienced and understood as the result of the spread of the body modification movement. Debate over whether the modern scene has increased or decreased public empathy for amputees and the disabled remains contentious. Did you mean phantom visions? Phantom visions are caused by faulty insulation on cybernetic eye mods, resulting in periodic electrical discharge across the retina. Schedule a consultation immediately if you suspect this applies to you. Users also frequently searched for, my mod hurts, modder itching, is my arm haunted?
Is my arm haunted? Man, I would love a haunted arm. Truly get the chaos sealed in my left arm, right? Hold on, I need to know. If I click this button, does it bring up Steam Store? No! What? What is this? Store.
It's Morgan time.
It's Morgan time. What? Oh,
Well,
that was free.
okay.
Charmless. I don't. White phone case.
Characters we don't even know yet.
Neko Morg. Reward for playing. Oh, we didn't play the demo. Okay. Sato stuck. I don't know what these are. I know you're from the Steam page image. And I know you're the brat we text. All right, well, that was not what I expected that to be, actually. Okay, moving along now. Now we get into the big stuff. Carlos, you and the victim were romantically involved. How long did you two know each other?
Right. I've known her since college. We shared a few classes, some mutual friends. Always got along. Eventually, we just got together at some point. I guess I never actually asked her out the real formal way. Sounds pretty cowardly saying that out loud. Diane, she was in genetics, focused her studies on agriculture.
It always takes them a few tries to get used to using the past tense.
Just finished her postgrad work this year.
Did you notice that our pupils either our pupils dilated to the entirety of our eyes or our irises just disappeared during that bit? I think that's just an aesthetic thing for the art style, but still.
Got hired right out the gate. Practically headhunted, you believe that? Practically headhunted. Of course she was. Any company'd be lucky to have her, unlike... It was a real-ass job. Paid real-ass money, too.
So her career was starting to pan out. Right as yours had fallen into the mother of all slumps. Where was she hired?
Pedigree? No. Perigee Laboratories. I say that like the name matters. The whole setup's under Harco's umbrella.
That doesn't narrow it down. The Harvest Corporation grows a third of the soybeans and corn in the entire country. One client that size, the lab wouldn't need any others. Now no corporation earns the mega prefix without a little throat cutting, but Harco is about as tame as big business can get. Predictable like the seasons. No one's gonna buy that they had some lab tech murdered because of corporate greed. Had she adjusted well to her new job?
Yeah, they loved having her there.
She never mentioned arguments or disputes, corporate politics getting rough.
I don't think so. Not like I've been a good listener lately. But I never got the impression that she... Look, no one I know could do this to her. And there's nothing else she could have done that would deserve what happened to her.
It was a long shot, hoping for disgruntled character from her past to shift blame onto. But with no other suspects, I can't just reshuffle the detective's suspicions. I'll have to disprove their argument entirely.
Now that you mention it, I can't unsee the eyes going black when it's in
I think it's just
mode.
meant like she's just kind of doing an inner focus thing, right? What's up, Flat? Thank you, Carlos. That was very helpful.
It was?
Genuinely, it was. Now I'd like you to try and tell me whatever you can about what happened tonight.
Oh?
Start at the beginning and take your time. The details are important.
All right, Miss,
Morgan.
I'll try, Morgan.
When you're ready.
We were arguing. We had been arguing a lot lately. Arguing about stupid stuff.
Just quick sidebar. I really love the very stark and striking shifts in perspective on the changes in color.
Yeah.
And like how that also extends to like the sprite work itself. Right? It's very striking and very well done, I feel. I like every time it's been happening, I've been like, dang.
I haven't been working, haven't been making money, haven't been pulling my weight. I was mad at myself, but more than that, I was jealous of her. Jealous over nothing. Jealous over goddamn money.
The reports say that you were arguing around 8 p.m.
8? Yeah, must have been when we started. We got into it and I said a lot of things that I shouldn't have. And I said one thing that I really, really shouldn't have. I crossed a line and we both knew it, so I left.
You left?
Yeah, walked out the front door. Thought some fresh air might help me cool off. Help me figure out what to say to make it up to her. Of course, the air wasn't fresh, just humid, thick like mud. And while I was pissing away the time, Diane was...
Did you bring your phone with you or any other electronics?
No, I kinda stormed off, didn't even take my key fobs. Didn't even lock the door behind me.
With optics down, traffic and street-level cameras won't help him. That leaves... Did you go through a checkpoint? Or talk to anyone with modded eyes? Did you buy anything? Cash or credit?
No, not even a vending machine.
Not even a damn vending machine, huh? I may have met my match. How can anyone be this unlucky? That is... quite unfortunate.
I just wanted quiet at the time, wanted to wallow in it really. Sorry if I don't have all the details quite right, my head is... But if my exact route would help the cams, probably... What? What is it? Optics was what? Can that even happen?
And there is no other proof that you were out at the time Diane was killed. Meaning you have no alibi.
This can't. Listen, I didn't do this, I couldn't.
Carlos. I am the one person you do not have to try and convince.
Huh?
After all, I am your lawyer. Is that why? I'm still not convinced Morgan isn't... that you weren't right about that. Morgan isn't secretly the heartbreak killer for some reason.
To be fair, I just said Morgan is a killer.
So let's get it all out there and see what we've got to work with.
Right.
Now, you said you left to clear your head. What made you come back?
I came back because I heard a noise, a loud noise. Didn't know what it was. But it was loud and it scared me. And it came from the direction of our apartment. I was walking back at first, but at some point I must have started running. Because when I got back, I was so out of breath. And when I saw that the front door was open, something dropped in my chest and my lungs wouldn't.
You live on the first floor, right?
Yeah, first floor apartment, street facing entrance. We were proud of that when we first moved in, like it was some kind of big deal. From the hallway I saw her, but I didn't realize. I never thought that she was... The lights were off, the whole room was a mess. I thought we'd been robbed, or she had fallen, or... There was broken glass, furniture knocked over. And she was... I called her name and she didn't move. I checked her pulse and she was still warm. Her blood was warm.
That's why he was checking her pulse. That makes more sense. Yeah.
And I saw...
The gun?
It looked so heavy, but I thought it had to be fake because I didn't want it to be real.
Is that why you picked it up?
What? Pick it up? I didn't touch that thing.
What?
I didn't shoot her, damn it.
Doing what I do, you hear a lot of lies. White lies, blatant lies, hasty lies, bad lies especially. For me, it's always been easy to spot a lie, but it can be hard to know what to do about it. I have all the proof I need in my files, but he's nervous and defensive, and none of this works if he doesn't trust me. Stay up to date with evidence on your phone. Clients knows you don't know what you're talking about, they'll stop giving you any credit.
Let's take a look through our phone real quick, just like it cued us to. Okay,
We're
good.
up to date.
We're all up to date.
We've been good about this, I feel. Maybe we should just... I mean, I've been trying to find natural breaks to get it in, but maybe we should start trying to be a little bit more... Maybe when we see that... Because we do see a little thing pop in when we get a new thing. Maybe we should just go for it immediately. You did touch the gun, Carlos. That's just a fact. Because...
Of your prints.
It is a fact that your fingerprints are on that gun.
What? But I didn't do this. I wasn't thinking. I was just...
Carlos, all I'm saying is that you picked it up. That is all.
Huh? Would you believe me if I said I didn't realize it was a gun?
That explains how his prints get on the gun, but not in a way that would satisfy the police. Still, if all he did was hold the gun...
So stupid. I know what a gun looks like, but seeing it in my own home right in front of...
You were in Shark, Carlos. Shark.
You were in Shark! Oh no! How'd he get out?
Jump! You were in shock, Carlos. You still are.
The police came in sometime after that. I don't remember much of what they said. Things started moving fast, it seemed like. The rest of my night went probably the way you'd expect.
Carlos, you admit to having a verbal argument with Diane, but you said you were surprised to see the room trashed when you got back. To clarify, you're saying that you two never had a physical fight.
What? Physical? We never fought. We never fought like that. Did the police say that we did?
They assumed as much. Which means they also assumed the room was disheveled well before the shooting occurred. Considering what Carlos has told me, what else did they assume?
What is it?
I'd like you to take a look at something for me. The crime scene.
Oh.
It's an AR module built from data taken as the police entered. So?
Right, it's just that...
It's just data, Carlos. No grisly details.
Okay, let me see it.
Please, take your time.
All right, I think I got it.
That is how the police found things. Now close your eyes and think back to how the room looked when you left it. Try and focus on what's out of place.
All right.
I will take notes. You just say whatever comes to mind.
I don't remember exactly where everything was, but, well, the mirror was upright, of course.
Okay, it's kind of at an angle like that. Got it. Understood.
And that clock was still on the wall. The chair got knocked over at some point, and the bed got tossed, the cushions torn.
This is up.
And the urn fell. Other than that...
So the broken ceramic pile was still there when he left originally.
Yeah.
Well,
no, sorry, that's all that stands out to me.
I see. Like so. What is wrong? Something out of place? Carlos, you need to trust your instinct. If anything seems off, don't be afraid to speak up. Why are we sparkling? Where are we like, don't worry, I'm doing something super cool right now. And Carlos is like, that's
art so bad. It's just, I guess I just assumed your notes would be making edits to the AR.
Well, I suppose that works as well.
Sorry, I didn't mean...
Okay, hold on, we got a new statement here. Carlos Flatt's testimony on the state at the crime scene when he left the apartment.
Mirror was upright, clock on the wall, chair got knocked over, bed got tossed, cushions torn.
Okay. It doesn't necessarily mean that that's 100% accurate, but it's a good place to start from.
I think your drawing was pretty good, considering.
I'd like to change the subject now, Carlos.
Right.
Let's talk about the letter that was found on your desk.
Letter? What do you mean?
I mean this letter here. Do you not recognize it? Because the police are calling it a confession.
A confession? But this is just a note to self.
Pardon? A note to self? Where's that? Didn't mean to hurt you or do what I did. Was he taking notes on how he was going to apologize?
Yeah.
Son of a biscuit. Pardon?
Look, when we fight, I lose my temper, say things I don't mean to. So this morning I tried writing things down so I'd have a script to stick to. So I could apologize to her instead of just fighting with her.
Carlos, you say in the note that you hurt them?
I broke her fidget tubbies.
Called it. Her what now? Her what now?
Her fidget tubbies.
We can't see it, but we're dancing now.
They're these collectible ceramic character things.
I was exactly right.
They're supposed to be like tactile. You use them as paperweights or conversation starters.
Conversation starters? Honestly, I can believe as more and more media gets digitized that there's more and more value in having a physical object, right?
Also, just imagine you go over to someone's house and they silently hand you this thing and then look at you expectantly. You can't not have a conversation that probably starts with,
"Are you all right?"
What? But that's a conversation still.
It
just
does
works.
indeed.
It just works.
As advertised.
I need some fidget tubbies. She loved those little things. They're not worth a damn. You can buy them at any flea market or garage sale, but they meant a lot to her, and I broke them. I mean, I was pissy at the time, but...
Fidget tubbies.
Collectible and fragile ceramic conversation starters. The victim's personal collection was pulverized by Carlos Flat's replacement prosthetic arm the morning of the murder. Evidently an acquired taste. But that goddamn piece of shit rental arm, I hardly know where I'm swinging it half the time. Got so angry I just ripped it off and tossed it in my room. That cheap, dusty, worthless... Carlos discarded it in frustration after smashing into the victim's collectibles and hasn't worn it since.
So is he claiming that was an accident then?
Yep.
And I was busy at the time, but okay, so he's not saying he wasn't angry, but he's saying that he didn't mean to actually damage those.
Yep.
Right? I see. Okay.
Like he said, when he's angry, he can't control it. The arm.
Literally.
It's difficult to control the arm, and if you're in a heightened emotional state, then fuck. It's just going to kind of fuck up.
Yeah, okay. This is literally, I couldn't control. All right. I was angry, but but that didn't translate into intention to hurt your stuff. Right. I see there now. Okay, let's say he did break her fridge a duckies with his replacement arm. What does that change? Nothing at the moment. There's not enough detail in the note for me to prove what his intent was when he sat down to write it. But if police insist on claiming it's a confession for the heartbreak killings anyway...
Couldn't even bother to sweep him up. I felt so...
All right, Carlos. Thank you for answering my questions. Now, I'm going to call the police back in here, and I'm going to get this cleared up for you.
What? That's it?
That's it.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry, I'm working pro bono today. I know that's the same joke everyone makes with that, but it's... I like silly jokes about... Oh, okay, hold on. So these are sorted oldest, newest down at the bottom, but if you haven't clicked on them yet, they'll move to the top so you can click on them. I understand. Thank you. Although, before I do that, I do have to ask, what do you know about the Heartbreak Killer?
Heartbreak? You mean that psycho that was trending all month? I mean, as much as anyone, I guess. I haven't been getting out much, but I'm sure everybody's on edge, a guy like that out there. He shoots people through the heart, right?
Police have kept the victim's appearances far away from any upstanding news sources. So unless he was already following the murders, Carlos wouldn't notice any resemblance to his girlfriend.
I mean, she was shot in the chest, but that doesn't mean anything, does it?
If he's this slow on the uptake, it's going to be a real shock when those officers walk in here and accuse him of being a serial killer. I'll just have to squash that theory as quickly and definitively as possible. All right, so we're not going to a courtroom. We're trying to prove this to the detectives here.
I didn't realize you could smoke in here.
Who's going to tell me no? Technically, I can smoke wherever I want. For a fee.
A fine is a price.
Exactly. It's like fines only exist to punish poor people. For rich people, it's just a price to pay for extra convenience. I want to park and fire this fire hydrant. I guess I can pay an extra couple $100. I can afford that.
I guess so. Ugh.
Are you nervous? Don't be. I am the one who's on the clock here.
Right, I'm sure this isn't your first time doing this.
No, of course not. It will be my first homicide defense, though.
Oh?
Why does everyone always think the first time's so goddamn important? Hey, cheer up! I've got relevant experience in other areas. Like homicide.
Oh, and what areas are those?
You ever gamble, Carlos?
No, ma'am. I never go anywhere near loot boxes. Won't touch the stuff.
I meant more like playing cards.
Oh, well then, noted that too. I've actually got pretty terrible luck.
Could have fooled me. What I do is a lot like poker, Carlos. Poker's nice because even if you're dealt nothing but crap all night long, you can still win. Which makes things pretty fun.
Okay, so, do you have a good poker face?
I like to think so.
And are you lucky?
Only when the stakes are high.
And, in this metaphor, we're playing poker and the state's the dealer.
If only. No, the state is more like, the house.
You mean like the house always wins?
Just... the Inception. Yes. They are very good at it. Winning, I mean. And that's why they're up there, and we're down here. That's why they're the house.
So, what do we do?
This game has a great sense of humor. We play the cards we're dealt, as best we can. Win more hands than we lose. Keep it up and eventually someone will come over, tap the dealer on the shoulder, and whisper something in their ear. And then we'll be politely asked to leave.
That doesn't sound very triumphant.
The house always wins, Carlos. So our definition of victory is more like, don't lose.
Thanks, Morgan, but I guess I was more asking, like, what should I say?
Just leave all of the talking to me.
So that's the strategy.
If your lawyer says leave all the talking to them, leave all the talking to them.
What's up?
You know there's a saying about gamblers with strategies?
Yo, ready to confess yet? Because I already woke up the DA.
Already? She must be new. District attorneys have final say on whether or not the case is brought to trial. Only fair since they're the ones who end up having to actually prove the damn thing. Most of them prefer simple guilty pleas over long, protracted trials, and they all dislike having their time wasted. Unfortunately, then you'll have to call them back, because my client is not guilty. And frankly, I'm not even sure you have enough to hold him here.
Right.
Carlos?
What she said.
Carlos? Carlos. I got this.
You've got a weird sense of humor, counselor. Different generations, I guess. Before my time kind of thing.
I am very serious when it comes to defending a man's innocence, detective.
Counselor, we have your client's written confession.
His written confession. Let's start there.
Okay, well, we'll be happy to.
The thrust of every argument starts with the facts and what's already known and agreed upon. Public knowledge for every player at the table.
It's pretty simple, counselor. Real paint-by-numbers stuff.
What do we do? I feel like I need to drop a save real quick here because an interface just popped up. Okay.
See, we found a note at his apartment.
Yep.
With his fingerprints on it.
Did the note have his fingerprint? It doesn't matter. He wrote the note.
Apologizing for how he hurt them all so bad. Now, how are you planning on spinning that?
Those are the facts. But I've been building up my hand all night, and now I've got the weapons to answer anything they try and throw at me.
Well...
My client did write that note, and it was an apology. But not for murder. He's apologizing for... Analyze the facts that are brought up, then thumb through responses in your hand. Drag and drop the card that best answers the argument into the slot on the right. Mouse over your opponent's portrait for a reminder of what key point you're answering. He wrote a confession. Right. So we got the note and prints.
It's gonna be the
Murder
debris.
weapon linked to 5 other crimes with Flet's fingerprints. Debris. Ceramic craft near western window.
Yeah.
It's the debris.
It's the debris.
Oh, we drag and drop, right?
Yeah.
He was simply apologizing for this.
The hell is that?
I'll take that, thank you. I like how we always get +1 chip, but the animation is always like we just cleared the table.
Yeah.
That's very funny to me. If I found myself... I found myself asking that exact same question.
What are we looking at here? Something from the crime scene?
Indeed, officer. This diagram of the room, it's created from data you captured, correct?
Pure non-GMO augmented reality crime scene data, yeah. What's non-GMO?
Oh, you precious summer child.
Not much these days.
Hey, London? London, you get a high five. Do you notice anything out of place here?
Yeah, the whole room's full of busted shit. It's the scene of a murder.
Full of busted shit, for sure. But I was more referring to the unidentified ceramic debris found on the western side of the room.
The hell is that? Ceramic debris, huh? Must be from the vase that got tossed.
The perfectly intact vase. Actually, that's not possible.
No?
Because that vase...
Wasn't damaged.
It's not possible for that debris to have come from the vase. That vase is still pristine.
How is that possible?
Yo, Flat. Flat?
The lady at that garage sale told me it was so old and delicate. Damn it, the one time I tried and thrift shop on my own.
Flat? Flat? Real quick. Leave this to me. Nothing you can say here will help you.
Well, so what? What does it even matter? If the vase doesn't have a scratch on it...
Then the debris must have come from somewhere else.
Ugh.
That debris is what my client wrote that apology over.
You're saying that confession was his apology for not vacuuming?
I am. Because that pile of rubble is all that remains of the victim's collection of fidgibobs. Fidgetac,
Fidgetubbies?
What he said. How come this song only pops up during
The Fidgetubby theme song has to pop up every time it's mentioned.
Mr. Flat broke the victim's ceramic figures by accident, and this impassioned note to self was just his attempt at scripting out an apology.
Can you prove that? We're taking this seriously?
As much as I wish we weren't. We're all in agreement my client wrote that note. And we can all plainly see the ceramic debris at the crime scene. Since it could have come from the vase, must have come from the collectibles.
Those things.
Simple, right?
The hell are you on about? The entire room was trashed, as the arcs clearly shows. Those fidget tubbies must have gotten pulverized during the struggle, too. You really gonna claim he sat down to write an apology for breaking her toys after gunning her down?
Not a bad train of thought, but I can do better. No, those collectibles were destroyed much earlier than that. And there's proof. The revolver? No. The rental? The note? How can we prove they were broken? Oh, because of the... How does this... I thought that for proof we would have gone to Flat's recollections of the room.
I mean, how would they know his recollections were right? He could just be lying.
Well, we could be to at least establish the plausibility, right? But either way, are we asking? They broke during the shoot. Okay, so we're trying to. They broke during the shooting. Nah. They broke because of the rental, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Take a closer look at that rental you took into custody.
Huh?
One swipe of your finger should show exactly how devastating it was to the Fickle Buddy ecosystem.
It's fidget tubbies.
Oh, so you're a fan. Whatever. You did take it into custody. I'm sure your techs found ceramic debris on it, yes?
Now that you mention it. Fine, whatever. He broke them with his arm while he was killing her. Happy?
Overjoyed. Because
even a cheap arm's got an operating system that had logged the last time it was worn, right?
I'm so glad you're quick on the uptake, London.
See, I happened to spot a footnote on the lab report said that rental hadn't been used since the AM. Whose side are you on, old man?
I don't know. London at least strikes me as someone who, he wasn't kidding earlier when he was like, it'll be easier for everyone if this gets signed.
Yep.
But also, I think he is also a person who does appreciate things being buttoned up and done correctly.
Yep.
Right? And it's like, I think he was like this because from where they were sitting, this did look open and shut. But he's like, shit, there is more. If there's going to be any more to it than that, then it's probably not worth doing the...
It's gotten pretty late, Sunshine. Just trying to save us all some time where I can.
Well, thank you for your service.
Well, thank you for your service. Are you seriously buying this crap? Just look at how scrawled, how panicked that note is. You expect me to believe he was that upset over a fidget tubby collection?
We know why it was scrawled and panicked.
One that hasn't even been graded? Called it.
Setting aside Detective Reyes' surprise... It's because she was indignant earlier.
Yep.
She was indignant about it, right? Setting aside Detective Reyes' surprising depth of knowledge when it comes to collectibles, you're correct. They hold no real monetary value. It would be odd for Carlos to be so shaken over their loss. But so what?
So what?
After all, that's not panic you're seeing on the page. The only reason that note looks the way it does is because Carlos...
is right-handed.
Because Carlos is right-handed.
Yes, I am. Did they not know that? Shouldn't that be on my permanent record or something? So, the reason why that note looks like asylum wall scribbles.
It's just because he had to use his left hand to write it.
I tend to think better writing than typing. And I need to get used to using my left anyway. I just thought it could be good practice. Taking that into account alongside the ceramics.
Your slam dunk confession is looking about as watertight as a fishnet.
Okay, fine. Forget about the confession. Congratulations, counselor. You've established that your client's remorseless. Now, let's get back to the reality of the situation. Here are the facts. We found your client at the scene of the crime, wearing a coat covered in the victim's blood, right next to a big old goddamn gun that just so happened to have his fingerprints on it.
That's right, that coat is...
What, you gonna claim it's not his, that he actually wears an extra small?
She's trying to bait me in her typical low-key fashion. As the arguments flow, you won't always have the stronger hand. Sometimes the best you can do is hold your tongue and avoid overcommitting. Try to lose as little credit as possible while you wait for a more favorable chance.
Interesting.
I was gonna say, like, none of those things are things we're denying, right? Yep. She must have something, no sense playing into it. What? Something you'd like to ask me, detective?
I'm just curious, what'll it be next? You gonna tell me he actually wears an extra small? We can stay or raise. That's
I
funny.
see. So we need to... In this case, we stay.
Yeah, we stay.
He doesn't wear an extra small. Gee, Carlos, do you?
No? Yeah, sure, there's no evil twin you've forgotten to mention?
No, I'm afraid not. There is no evil twin.
Not even gonna go for a mysterious third party at the scene of the crime?
To prove his innocence, I will need to get there eventually, but going there now without hard evidence.
We can't prove a third party yet, can we?
Ooh. Can we prove a third party?
It's probably time to save. 'Cause I don't think we can.
Yeah, nothing I see here points to a third party yet.
I think we should save. Yep.
I have no evidence of a third person at this time.
Damn right you don't. It's clear as day in the arcs. No evidence of anyone but Carlos being there that night. So keep dreaming.
It's obvious she had something there. I wasn't going to win that hand either way. But at least I didn't overstep and take any more damage than I had to. Did we lose credit? No, we still... Okay. We're not contesting any of that, detective. My client freely admits to holding that gun. He picked it up in confusion after coming home to find a brutal crime scene. Which was not smart.
Hey!
But not illegal either.
And that's all? He had her blood all over his clothes.
Yes, he did.
Right?
Do you have those clothes on hand, by the way?
The lab finished with them a while ago. What are you getting at?
It'll be easier to just show you. Would you mind getting them for me?
You know what? Sure, I could use the fresh air. This thing's a bullshit in here anyway. And here I thought the room smelled like...
Psst, Morgan. Oh,
Morgan, what are you doing? My coat's covered in her blood. I remember that much. So doesn't that, make me look really bad?
just relax, Carlos.
I'm pretty sure that's impossible.
You're innocent. And that means having more evidence will always help you and not hurt you.
Really?
Really? Not really. Plenty of innocent people in prison. People with bad luck or bad lawyers. People shouldn't count on the truth to come out easy. More often than not, it takes coaxing.
What was it that reminded me of? Alright, here it is. One bloodstained jacket, fresh from the lab.
Ooh, okay, hold on, we got something. Coat the suspect was wearing when taken into custody back from analysis. Blood on the sleeve matches with victim. No other details of any forensic significance found. Okay.
So what's your angle? You gonna tell us this is actually just hot sauce?
No. That would be silly.
She actually thought it over. So what the hell's your point? Hey,
Sorry, just got thrown off by the turn of good fortune.
what good fortune?
You should thank the detective for bringing you your jacket, Carlos. She's just proven your innocence. My client was arrested wearing this coat. He would have been wearing it at the time of the murder. It has the victim's blood on it, who we know died when she was shot in the heart by a gun that happens to be an old-world pre-tagging firearm.
And
And so this coat proves he couldn't have been the shooter.
is there a gas leak in here? In what world does that make any sense?
Sense happens to be key here. I just need to draw their attention to what they can. What you can see on the coat with your eyes.
I think it's gotta be C.
Because what? He's holding it in the revolver in his left arm,
Yeah, I guess so.
and then it gets blood on that arm?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, it's C. It's C.
Just tell me what you see.
I see a coat with a lot of dead woman blood on it, and you? Oh. Ooh. What did we miss?
It's not gonna work. Truth is plainly there, but this isn't the detail you can see with your naked eye.
Get it. If we hover the jacket... Okay.
What are we missing here?
Let's look at our evidence again. So let's look at the jacket. Oh, the autopsy report. 9 p.m., ballistic trauma, blood loss, single bullet. Okay, that doesn't seem to help. Where's the jacket? The coat. Left blood on the left sleeve matches that of the victim. Nothing looks weird in the picture. And then the revolver, which was just above. Okay. Is it going to be smell that there isn't a gunpowder smell on it?
Yes, that's what it is, because it's an old firearm. Just do me one favor, detective. Tell me what you smell.
I don't smell anything except dried blood.
Exactly. The coat smells like blood, but it doesn't smell of...
Cigarette. That's what I've been smelling.
Yes, Detective London, I was smoking earlier. Could you rejoin the conversation?
I've been listening. You wanted me to smell the jacket?
If you would.
Let's see. No gunpowder. What? What about gunpowder?
Oh, don't blame yourself for not noticing. This was before your time.
You can't be more than a few years older than me.
But not before your partner's, it seems. You see, gunpowder's weak by today's standards, but it's still volatile stuff. Hard to store, prone to misfiring, and when it goes bang, it leaves behind an awful lot of evidence.
The hell is she talking about, London? Modern firearms like the ones we carry use electricity, magnetism, even air pressure or sound waves. They got more accuracy, more firepower, less recoil, less noise. And they don't leave behind any residue. Gunpowder residue?
You talked my ear off about how difficult it is tracking down a gun that doesn't leave digital traces. But a revolver like this one, it'd leave gunpowder on the skin of whoever fired it for days.
So then his coat...
If you don't trust your noses, you can check the lab reports. I think if they had found any gunpowder on my client or his clothes, they'd have taken the time to highlight it.
Well, whatever. That just means he washed off after shooting her, or he changed his clothes.
That's not impossible. But it would be pretty pointless.
Huh?
His jacket and his left hand were blood-soaked when your officers found him, right? Would he really go through all the effort to get rid of something as subtle as gunpowder residue? just to get the victim's blood all over himself afterwards? In light of these details, I'd like to formally request that you reconsider the charges Mr. Flat is facing as soon as possible.
Whoa.
They're faltering now. Should topple over at any moment. The letter was mostly icing on the cake for them, but that gun is all they had to link Carlos to any of the shootings. So if it looks like he never actually fired the gun... I'll admit things were a little dicey there at times, but once I was able to grasp the situation, the smaller pieces fell into place easily enough. Not my cleanest work by far, but overall I'd say... Did she just get a message?
Wait, did they actually manage to find it?
Find what? Something you'd like to share, Detective Reyes?
You're good.
I'm sorry?
Twisting the truth into knots, making the facts work for you.
Okay. Thank you.
But your luck just ran out, because the net scrubbers found a cam active at the exact moment of the shooting, and right now I'm staring at a photo of the killer.
Okay. And? You wanna bet? A photo of the shooter. If she had that, we wouldn't still be talking. But I doubt she's just pulling this out of her ass. She's got something from the scrubbers. No, she's got something.
She's got something, yeah.
I'm not sure I follow, Detective. Didn't we establish there was an optics blackout during the shooting?
Sure, there was, but this isn't from optics. She was bluffing? Oh.
Good thing I held my tongue. As I thought, the scrubbers must have managed to dig up something from outside the network.
Okay.
Yeah,
so we would have lost more in the other case.
Yeah. Which means...
Party's over, counselor. Feast your eyes on this.
A person with 2 arms? Well... Okay, the quality is lacking. And yet there it is. They managed to find a quarter needle of evidence in a whole city block of haystacks. What are the goddamn chances? No, with the scale their tools operate on, I guess the chances are always in their favor. Alright, this isn't good, but it's a far cry from the worst case scenario I envisioned. Can even say I got lucky, which means the stakes are...
Well,
it's a little bit,
blurry. Don't look at me. I didn't take the damn thing. Technically, no one took it. Looks like at the time of the shooting, a neighbor was on their phone. Probably venting about how crazy the couple across the way was acting. But if their phone was on, its camera would be on. And so we managed to get this shot through the window.
Where to begin? Far away, unfocused, ultra-low resolution, zoomed in, blurred, color shifted, and so compressed it looks like it's from another century.
There are tools that could enhance
this image any further, and I could count the pixels on one hand. And you could kiss its admissibility in court goodbye. You can't honestly claim you can identify my client from this image. And there's no way in hell you could get this past a judge.
Yeah, you're probably right. We couldn't, but I think I know a DA that could. Either way, doesn't seem like your client's leaving this police station anytime soon. That photo, what the hell is happening to me? Think I know a DA that could? Don't be so modest, old man. We have photo evidence of a left-handed shooter standing in the hallway at the same time...
Oh, sorry. We'll go back to that in a mo.
At the same time, the whole neighborhood heard a gunshot.
Data recovered from an unknown citizen's phone camera at the time of shooting. Because the camera was not set to photo mode at the time, amount and quality of visual data available was severely limited. File markers for post-capture multi-spectrum image enhancement indicate that the photo has already been cleaned up as best as possible. Wow. Well, Carlos doesn't have a round head.
I wonder if the clock means
there's
anything.
A clock at 9 p.m. I wonder if that means something. What else is here? We don't see another arm coming out of it.
Quite convenient that we don't see the other hand.
Yeah, could you imagine? They're in the doorway, as we suspected. That's just... Yeah, we can't see the other hand, but we do see the sleeve. Is that what we're seeing? Is this going to be like a perspective thing where if you shift your eyes a little bit, the image...
And we'll find out when we go on ahead.
All right.
And who do we know had their left-hand fingerprints all over that gun?
You're referring to my client.
You think? We've established he wasn't wearing his modded arm at all tonight, so he must have shot with his left.
We've also established that he's weak with his left side. A left side that had no gunpowder whatsoever.
Forensics will never be perfect, counselor. Sometimes we miss things. Sometimes you take a walk through the rain, and when you finally get where you were going, you somehow end up dry. But that doesn't mean it didn't rain. All of which is to say, before judge or jury, photographic evidence outweighs a failed sniff test.
Carlos is innocent. I know he is. But that... But that photo shows a left-handed shooter. Carlos is innocent. That photo is real. If both are true, it means the photo doesn't show what it appears to show.
So, at a loss for words?
Never. It could still be the shooter was left-handed. I'm just confused about one thing. Where was this photo taken from exactly?
Exactly. Positional data is usually only accurate to the nearest public router. If we DNO the phone's owner and ask them where... Why bother with any of that? Ballistics and common sense tells us that the perp shot from the room's doorway.
The clock isn't there, though.
How do you mean?
In the... Is the clock... the clock behind, like, next to the door? I thought the clock was on the opposite wall.
I don't know that we've been given clear positional data in that way.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right.
The front entrance of the apartment faces to the south. There's a hallway that runs back to the bedroom. We're looking straight at the shooter, so it's pretty obvious this was taken from across the north window.
Oh,
there we
crime
go.
scene map. Hold on. Bird's eye view of the crime scene discovered by the police, captured within their ARC system. Shows the northern window facing the southern hallway where the shooter stood. Shows the western window facing the eastern wall. So the clock would be here. Okay. From the north. This is from the north, and why can we clearly see the...
Is it this the clock?
Oh, I was right about the clock.
Yeah. Let's
Hold
look
on.
at that crime scene map again.
Because if we look at the regular... The clock is on the wall directly to the right. Because this
Do
is
we have the arc stated directly?
Yeah, we
Can
can.
we look at that? We don't. Okay.
Okay. But we have the...
Crime scene map.
Right. Because remember, this is in the corner over here. So according to the clock, should be on this wall.
But then where the fuck would this person be standing? Is it
It's a mirror.
The mirror?
It's a mirror.
Oh, okay.
The mirror was up at the time. It's coming in from
Okay.
this side.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
You got it. It was the clock all along.
And interestingly, if the photo was mirrored, it means the person shot with the right arm.
Yep. It's not that complicated. The neighbor who got the shot must live on the other side of the street. So we're looking into the bedroom from the north window.
If she's wrong, I should seize on the opportunity to start turning the tide.
Let's raise.
I'm afraid that's simply not possible, Detective. This photo has to have been taken from the west.
What kind of bluff is that supposed to be?
The good detectives are misinformed here, and I need to take advantage of it. Time to press the initiative.
The hell do you mean this was taken from the west?
The autopsy tells us the victim was shot from the doorway. Your officer's ARC data tells us the precise location of everything in the room at the time they arrived, and now your photo has shown us the exact moment of the shooting.
And?
Can now raise the ante on a hand up to the current max. Answer wrong and you'll lose more credit, but answer correctly. Can bang up more credit for trick your hands down the line. Oh, hold on, what did I... Altogether, that tells us this photo must have been taken through the west window, as long as you consider...
Long as you consider...
the clock.
But is the statement going to be it?
Yeah, nothing else was relevant here.
Okay.
Oh.
Whoa.
Take one look at the clock in that photo.
The clock? What about it? The clock, huh?
Seems like London's got an idea. If he's mistaken, I could pounce on it to keep my tempo high.
This photo was taken right before the shooting, so, wait, don't tell me the time of death is wrong.
Time of death is correct.
It's correct.
That's a good question, Detective London, but the answer is no. The autopsy, the clock, and the neighbors all agree the time of death was 9 p.m.
Right, no mistaking that. So then what the hell were you on about?
There's a clock on the wall in this photo, analog style, and it reads 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock p.m., the time of the shooting? The hell's so special about that?
Nothing. There's nothing odd about the time the clock reads, but do you remember there being a clock in the room?
What? Actually, I don't recall there being a clock.
That makes sense. You wouldn't recall seeing a clock, because when the police secured the scene, the clock had already been knocked onto the floor.
And?
The only clock in that room is in the northeastern corner. And my client has informed me that before the crime, it was hung up on the eastern wall. Like so.
What the hell is that supposed to be?
Irrelevant. An artistic rendition.
It's, very distinct. If you had information on how the crime scene was before the shooting, why didn't you just add that to the arcs?
And show you my hand? Just because discovery law compels us to share info, doesn't mean we have to play fair, Detective.
Oh, clever.
Slipped to my mind. I'll do that now. The important thing is that if the clock was on the eastern wall before the shooting occurred...
Then this photo must be looking through the western window to see it. Don't start getting ahead of yourself. The victim was shot at 9 p.m., the same night that this photo was taken of the shooter, but you want to claim that clock's still on the eastern wall when it would have been knocked down during the fighting.
Got your logic backwards, Detective. Your precious photo shows the room was pristine at the time of the shooting. And there's one other piece of evidence that proves exactly how the cards fell.
Is it glass?
Shards fell onto the victim, so the victim had to fall.
Yeah.
The mirror was still up when the victim was shot.
Yeah. Are we gonna...
We're gonna max? Hell yeah,
let's max.
Definitely the glass. Yeah.
Glass shards, what about them?
Nothing much, really. Only that they're on top of the victim's body. And not under it.
If the glass fell on top of the victim's body, that would mean...
She was dead on the ground before the room got trashed.
But that's... But that doesn't make any sense. Why would anyone trash the room afterwards?
It's a good question, Carlos. Luckily, it's the detectives who have to delve into the minds of the criminally insane, and not us. Tell me, detectives, were there any signs of a struggle at the other crime scenes?
Other crime scenes?
Settle down, Carlos.
No, nothing like that. These attacks would have been over in a matter of seconds.
So what did you think when you saw the mess in the bedroom?
That this was personal and things had gotten complicated. Shit happens.
Shit does indeed happen, Detective. But in this case, it seems there's been a general misconception about the order in which shit happened.
So what if the room didn't get tossed over until afterwards? He still shot her. And we have a photo right here.
And I'm glad you do, Detective, because that photo proves my client's innocence.
Huh?
Proving that it wasn't my client who pulled the trigger is difficult. And maybe more importantly for all of us, time-consuming. Thanks to your photo, I can instead prove that it couldn't have been my client who pulled the trigger. Because the man in that photo can't possibly be Carlos.
Like hell it can't.
The glass shards prove the room was pristine at the time of shooting. We know the room, until the room was tossed, that clock was on the eastern wall. Means this photo of a shooter was taken from the west.
Back to this shit, that's impossible. The only hallway in that apartment runs from north to south. The only person with prints on that gun is your client, and the only fact that matters is that he used it to murder 6 innocent people.
You're a very honest person, Detective.
Excuse me?
And that's why you're such a shitty gambler. Played your cards too early, and now I can steal the pot right out from under you. Right about the hallway's orientation. You're right about the prints. And this HK figure has claimed 6 lives. But we aren't looking at the hallway in that photo.
What?
What we're seeing is...
The mirror.
Oh, hold on. We gotta max this, though.
Yeah. What is that? You trying the glass shards again?
Sort of. And by the way, do you recall where those glass shards came from?
Yeah, sure. They came from
a standing mirror. A mirror that at the time of shooting stood across the room from the western window.
But then that would mean that angle from that viewpoint?
It would reflect the hallway. So we're not seeing a shooter with a gun in their left hand. We're seeing a killer take aim with their right arm. And as we all know, my client hadn't had a working right arm in a number of weeks. And he hasn't worn his rental since this morning. So I meant what I said about that photo. I'm glad it was recovered. Because it just proved my client couldn't possibly have committed this crime. That should be the end of it. Except it looks like Detective Reyes really is a novice gambler. Sunk cost has got its teeth in her now, clawing up her spine, whispering wounded pride in her ear. It's a cold sweat, hot palms kind of fever, the impotent, irrational fury of losing something you thought was guaranteed to be yours. But lucky for you, Detective, I'm well versed in shock therapy. You look dissatisfied, Detective Reyes.
That's one word for it.
Then allow me to put a nice bow on everything for you. In summary, my client's so-called confession was just a note to self. The police found him in shock, reeling at the death of his girlfriend, and arrested him for being next to a gun he forensically couldn't have fired. After being confronted with these facts, he received photographic evidence of the exact moment of the shooting. Instead of utilizing said photo to track down the real killer, you tried to claim it depicted my client, a man without the requisite limb, standing in an architecturally impossible hallway. Wow, Morgan is a real shit when she's winning. Hell yeah.
He could have had a backup arm. He could have stolen one.
A little stubbornness can be charming, but this kind of desperation is ugly. It's getting late and it's time to bare my fangs a bit. And that's the best you've got? Even a bare-bones prosthetic off the black market needs to be attuned to an individual's nervous system. He'd have to bring it into a clinic, which would have had left a record on his shoulder, OS. A record you won't find. And he'll still have to somehow have gotten rid of it before the police arrived. SOP at the scene of a violent crime calls for a full-spectrum scanning of the entire building and 100 meters around it. Minimum. So where, Detective Reyes, did he manage to hide a cybernetic arm from your drones in the time between the shooting and his arrest? Well, any objections, Detective?
God damn it.
Hell yeah. Oh, that's great. That's great. Is there anything we're not up to date with yet? No, we're good.
Show me your hand, Flat. You're uncuffing me? In light of the evidence, we have no reason to hold you. Now I gotta go call the DA and tell her I made a mistake. Not we made a mistake, huh?
At least I do appreciate the I made a mistake from Reyes, huh?
Listen, kid, you should know.
Detective?
Lost my train of thought, but hey, your attorney's a real tiger and she just fought like hell for you. Make sure you thank her properly. Public defense doesn't pay that well. Yeah?
That's kind of you to say, Detective, but my work is its own reward.
Sure, I feel exactly the same way, counselor. What happens now?
I'll have to speak with the DA about the dismissal. And there's still some paperwork we'll need to go through. But basically, you're free to go. Congrats! You get to leave the casino with your kneecaps intact.
Yay? But what am I supposed to do?
If it comes to putting your life back together, you're shit out of luck on that one. Good luck on that, buddy. The detectives will continue their investigation.
Their investigation into heartbreak, huh?
Yes. When the authorities are satisfied with their examination of the body, she'll be handed over to the next of kin. And then you can make funeral arrangements.
No, that's not what I...
Huh?
Diane being gone is bad enough, but a serial killer? It's like she died of the flu. It doesn't happen anymore.
People die of the flu all the time, but I know what you mean.
I can't make sense of it. So what am I supposed to do?
Hell if I know. There are some contacts I could give you. Services, professionals, doctors.
No, you've done more than enough for me. When you got here, I was too tired to even defend myself to try and convince them that I didn't. You saved me. Thank you.
You're welcome, Carlos. But it's my job to...
No, I mean, thank you for not asking. For not asking if I killed her.
Oh, Carlos. I didn't need to ask. I knew you were innocent from the start. Of course he was. After all. Do it, do it, do it! I love this so much.
Yeah!
High five me! All right. Getting sloppy there, friendo. The blood's always different. Heart is always in the same place, easy to find, hard to miss. But the blood is always different. A flowering stain unfurling toward an invisible gun. A perfectly unique bloom, only one for each of us. A Rorschach test with a singular, universal meaning, vitality, at its climax, bursting forth into a red fractal consisting solely of an infinite, the end. But the comical thud of a body hitting the floor has its own kind of low-brow appeal. I mean, I guess we don't really get credit for guessing that because it's in the setup, right? Like, it's not... Bullet number 6 of 6. The gun is empty. It's useless to me now. May as well leave it. Feels like a waste, but, well, whatever. What is with us? Heartbreak, huh? Dislikes nosy people. Cannot carry a tune.
Favorite. That's different than Morgan. That's 2 entries.
Heartbreak. Dislikes high places, gambling, guns. Dislikes nosy people, mud, headphones. Hobby, batty cages. Favorite dish, mapo tofu.
Different entries.
Yep. Interesting. Wait, and the pupil thing.
Yeah.
The pupil thing is the difference.
Huh.
So are we doing split personality here? What's happening? Whatever. Finding the ammo was almost enough of a hassle to outweigh the advantages. Could sell an untagged gun for a fair bit of cash, but cash can't buy you peace of mind. Oh, don't look so surprised, lady. Mumping around in the dark there, in here, must have only been able to see my silhouette. Did you think I was her boyfriend back for an encore of that enthralling conversation? Can't ask her now. Wait, that means I have to give them slightly different voices now.
Do you?
Yes. It's commitment to the bitment.
Hey. Yeah, did you hear that?
These old pieces are so goddamn loud. And people aren't even familiar enough with the sound anymore to know when to run the other way. Probably roused half the neighborhood. But I didn't see anything I could use as even a partial suppressor on the way in. Could they really not afford some throw pillows? I used the other 5 bullets in outdoor spaces in small spheres of blind opportunity that the city's eyes couldn't think to pierce. Cramped places usually full of trash. But this room, as cheap as it looks, is at least clean. Organized, even. So the corpse adds a certain satisfying contrast. Except, there is shit on the floor. By the window, there are broken pieces of something fragile and tacky. It's fine. It's just one thing out of place. Actually, it's not fine. It's actually really irritating. I kick over the stupid goddamn mirror. 5 perfect crime scenes, each of them not a speck of evidence, nothing to go on. And for the final shot, there just has to be some pile of shit in the corner ruining everything. I kick the wall. Something falls from it, probably more tasteless bullshit. I toss over the chair, knock the urn, tear into the sheets with my frustration, and try to savor the shredding. If it can't be clean, I'll just have to lean into the messy angle. At least it will be consistent. This was all so stupid. Honestly, I'm not even the ego-driven type. In fact, I pride myself on my humility. But now, was it satisfying when the first 3 went down with single shots? Yes. But so what? I'm not made of stone. After that, I did start to actively aim for the heart, but... Ugh. Heartbreak killer? Really? Don't people have anything better to do with their time? What kind of miserable, lifeless voyeurs would obsess over something that's none of their business? All of the threads and breakdowns and the goddamn theory grafting. All for the heartbreak killer. Sounds like a soap opera villain from a season where the writers were on strike. I'd feel insulted by the label, but no. That's someone else's name, isn't it? They came up with it. They spread it. They marketed it. Heartbreak has nothing to do with me. He's just some reclusive, lonely, socially impotent loser who shot 6 people because they look like her ex-girlfriend. Well, I'm sure people will come up with something. That he got rejected one too many times or whatever. Me? I killed those people because I saw them and I wanted to. And I've killed a lot more than just 6. At least the room is thoroughly trashed now. If I had just walked away after seeing that mess by the window, it would have irritated me to no end. And now that it doesn't match the MO of the last 5 perfectly, it'll irritate the cops to no end instead. Good riddance, Heartbreak. You enjoy your 15 minutes in the spotlight. Really savor it. I am going home. The air is weighty tonight. Thick. Energized. A heavily foreshadowed summer rain I can feel on every hair. They call this kind of humidity oppressive, but I disagree. The warm tension on your skin, like in those short moments just after the shower turns off, when the steam lingers. Yeah. It's always most comfortable right afterwards. Maybe there's no disagreement to be had. Oppressive things can be comforting, too. Only the guilty ones run. I don't know about that, but I know I've never felt guilty about any of this. And I walk. Walk as in both walking away and walk as in walking, walking from being accused of a crime.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, using my left is still...
That's okay. You can just initial in those spots. I took a scenic route home, courtesy of our fine city's sprawling public transportation, and got in a bit after 11 p.m. Had myself a thorough shower, drank a glass of milk, did some stretching, made sure my phone was on. Time went by evenly. Around 1:40 a.m., a posting for public defender work came up. Decent rate since it was so late and so urgent. I had wagered correctly that the boyfriend would have enough sense to ask for a lawyer, and had enough debt that he'd need to be provided one. Do you mean how to start gambling?
Or how to bet sports on phone? A gambler with a system must be, to a lesser or greater extent, insane. George Augustus Sala, journalist.
All I had to do was stay awake. Wasn't much competition after 1 in the morning.
Okay, where else?
Here and here. How did I phrase it earlier? Criminal defense attorneys aren't exactly flush with customers. Why wouldn't I take on a job where I already knew more than the cops? It would have been easy to convince Carlos to plead out. I would have gotten paid the same too. But easy is dangerous. Carlos was, of course, innocent, so his conviction would never be airtight. There would be doubts, questions, appeals, maybe even fans depending on his looks. More attention on HK and his crimes. More headaches. A cold case, rotting in the very far back of the public's awareness, is always preferable to one open and shut in haste. Now, with no more murders matching HK's MO, there won't be any additional public pressure to find a culprit. And now Heartbreak can just starve to death, out of sight and mind like any other fluke in the system. Almost done. Getting involved with a case this intimately does have its risks. Hell, I might have even overdone things here or there, like lighting up a smoke inside an interrogation room just to make doubly sure I didn't still smell of gunpowder myself. That London fellow seemed more fixated on it than I would have liked. But obviously, everything turned out rosy. And it's worth it for the finality of it all. Seeing the authorities' failings from the best seat in the house, that's just a bonus.
Thanks again, Morgan, for everything. I'm sure Diane is grateful too.
Funny. I didn't even know her name. Something the matter?
No, sorry, it's just I was mad when I left the apartment. I know she was too, so when she died...
Death was instantaneous, Carlos. I can't imagine that she was in any pain. In fact, I can guarantee she was dead before she hit the ground.
No, I know, but I just keep thinking that she must have died angry at me, that she must have died hating me.
Huh.
Ooh, we have evidence to present.
I like the little homage to Ace Attorney here, where you do get the opportunity to present some evidence after the case, just to tell you the truth, Carlos, there's something I've been wondering about myself.
What is it?
Something I noticed in the ARCS data I didn't quite understand. A piece of the puzzle I couldn't fit in anywhere else. But maybe you can make sense of it.
The pills. What is the... Where did you find that?
That pill organizer was found on the victim. She had it grasped in her hand when she died. Obviously, the police added it to the ARCS, but it was quickly ruled irrelevant. Seems like it contained triprexazone, prescribed to help moderns with phantom itches. They're small tablets, and those are tricky clasps, too, for a pill organizer. Could be hard to handle with an unsteady hand. No one will ever know what she was feeling when she died. Even if they did, feelings are complicated. You can feel angry, happy, and sad all at the same time, but as far as facts are concerned, it would appear that when she died, what she was doing was setting out your medications for the week. To my eyes, anyway. I fucking love this. This is great. 5:01 a.m. Long night. That was too far just now. Practically rubbing it in his face. It's not like I care about his feelings. I doubt I'll ever even see him again, but overstepping like that is pure hubris. And hubris invites a downfall. So why? Why did I even bother? It was the last piece of the puzzle, I suppose. I'll just need to show more restraint next time. Though there won't be a next time for Heartbreak. The gun's in custody. There are no more bullets left. There will not be a seventh victim. There won't be any more leads to pursue. The media will move on to their next obsession, and I'll move on to my next MO. And no one will ever.
Found you.
District Attorney Rockford. I like you.
Sorry, can I try that again?
This one is my favorite.
Eto. Bleh. I'm so fried.
By all means. I love her so much. Oh, this vibe. I feel it.
Counselor Morgan, morning, noon, or night, you're always so put together.
Thank you.
I don't get it. How do you sleep at night?
Pardon? I'm sorry. Pardon?
You do white noise, aromatherapy? Whatever you're doing, I need to steal it. God. I must have bags under my eyes dark enough for the dumpsters.
Assistant District Attorney Emma Rockford. She is a prosecutor, the lawyer who argues for the state in court, trying to prove a defendant's guilt, and despite her sometimes unkempt appearance, she is probably the sharpest person to fill the position in decades. I should know, since I haven't beaten her once. Worse yet, she has the remarkable ability to compartmentalize all that adversarial energy and only bring it out in the courtroom. It's part of what makes her good at her job, and hard for me to read.
Should I buy a new mattress?
What have they got you doing at this ungodly hour, Emma? Emma Rockford. Occupation, Assistant District Attorney. Likes coffee, toffee, hot couture. Dislikes sunburn, dead pixels, eye strain. Eggs, Benedict. Plays chess, shogi, idol, savant stars. Cat person, yes. The 3 classic games of high strategy.
Oh, well, actually, I'm here for you.
For me?
Your client was a suspect in the Heartbreak killings. That's my case.
Oh, well, then you must have been relieved finding out you won't have to go to trial against me.
No? Why would I be worried about going up against you?
It's always the unintended barbs with her. So you're working with those detectives?
Yeah, London and the new girl, Reyes. They've been reporting to me in preparation for trial.
Preparation for trial? That seems ambitious.
I guess they gave you the rundown. They've been doing everything they can, but it's hard to catch a killer who leaves behind so little.
It's hard to kill while leaving so little behind. So Reyes told you they had HK in custody and you popped out of bed excited to run down here?
Hardly. I haven't slept in 40 hours. Too much on my mind.
Do you see the bishy sparkle in?
Yeah. So when I heard about a case with a single female victim shot through the heart, yeah, my ears perked up, but that's about all.
Oh.
I mean, Carlos Flat, a serial killer, the same serial killer that has outsmarted the state for weeks.
She's not using his middle name. He was found with the murder.
He was found with the murder weapon.
But I can answer that any number of ways. Wait, there's still more? Oh God. It could have been Flat. Could it have been Flat?
Since it's the revolver, probably we present the, rental?
Taken at 9 p.m. shows right-handed shooter lucky shot.
Or is it the no gunpowder found?
Blood on sleeve, no gunpowder found. All of these feel like stiff and unyielding. The rental is irrelevant. He wasn't wearing it at the time. We know that.
Well, but could have been Flat is the thing that we're responding to.
Oh, that
right?
it could have been Flat?
Though then again, we already have evidence that it couldn't have been the rental.
Yeah.
I'm confused of what's being... If it's that we're giving a summary of before, or if this is a new argument. Oh, but I can answer that any number of ways. These are all valid ways.
Right.
Okay.
The same serial killer's outsmarted the state for weeks. He was found with a murder weapon.
Let's start with the jacket, because it's what we used.
That may be true, but...
But then I glanced at the report.
You glanced at it? Oh, sorry. You glanced at it?
No gunpowder residue on him or his clothes.
Right.
Too remorseful, too apologetic in that note. Whatever it was about. His dominant arm modded, with documented sensitivity issues. Never could have made shots that clean. Not without getting close enough to leave scorch marks. Not to mention he's too tall for the ballistics entry angles. And probably too heavy to not leave imprints.
She got all of that. From a glance?
But I'm sure a competent lawyer like yourself pointed all that out the minute you walked in here.
Well, of course. The worst part is she's not even being sarcastic.
Yeah, of course it couldn't have been him.
Huh?
Long-term relationship, physically imposing, argumentative, so not the type to bottle things up. He didn't match the profile.
Profile?
Yeah, Right, sorry, you've probably never heard of it.
I know what a goddamn profile is.
A profile is a reconstruction of a criminal's psychology based on evidence from their crimes.
Let's see what Profiling. Did you mean profile how to delete? Profile filtering?
Trying to get your dating profile just right can be a full-time job. Let Valentine take the reign with our automated, secure, and confidential tools to put your better than best foot forward and put the sexy back into finding the right match.
There is no sexy in finding the right match. That word isn't in there.
Kind of fallen out of fashion for the last few decades. Not much need to guess about the why when 99 times out of 100, the who is caught on camera.
Or before they even leave the house.
I've had to find some real fossils and oddballs to get advice on how to go about it, but I think I'm getting the hang of it.
Ooh, interesting. What do we want to... Let's ask about profiling first. So this profiling, it's some kind of investigative technique?
The theory is that a crime can tell you something about the nature of the person who committed it. Stabbing, overkill, points to passion, rage, lust. They probably knew their victim.
Huh.
Poison and guns, meanwhile, suggest they can't overpower their victims physically. And then there's the things you can assume about nearly all serial offenders. Childhood trauma, prior criminal record, few or no meaningful attachments. There's a lot of recurring themes in their stories.
Huh. The detectives say HK doesn't leave evidence. So how much can his crimes possibly tell you?
That he's diligent. Almost perfect. Highly intelligent, painstakingly organized, and with enough criminal connections to get his hands on an untagged firearm.
It's rare to see her this animated outside of the courtroom. It's almost like she's enjoying herself. She's like, is she like a Sherlock Holmes? Where this is the only way she could find fun? Is that what we're doing?
That and her gotcha addiction.
Yeah, that and her gotcha addiction. A sheltered house cat who's picked up the scent of a mouse for the first time.
A lone wolf, educated but...
all her playfully lethal instincts coming to life.
Probably overqualified or undervalued.
Though I'm not thrilled about the fact that in that metaphor, I would be the...
Know what I mean?
Definitely!
And considering the marksmanship...
The detective said that HK would have needed insider information on optics. So does that mean heartbreaks in law enforcement?
Never in 10 billion years.
Oh.
Antisocial, independent, despises authority. That'd be like a stallion applying for a job on a merry-go-round.
Wait, what?
They'd be kicking kids in the head after the first full rotation.
That's funny. That's funny. Right, that's exactly how I'd put it.
There must be some connection to the police, though. Maybe secondary or tertiary. These types can't help but insert themselves.
Insert themselves? I do not do anything even resembling that. Wait, if HK's not a cop, how do they know about the blackout timing?
Crime metastatistics analysis, probably.
Pardon?
Take the emergency response times from across the city and map them out. Look for brief spikes and delays, chart out the dips, and...
Uh-huh.
Sorry, technical, I know, but all the requisite data is publicly available. With a map, a spreadsheet, a calculator, anyone could reverse engineer the timing if they wanted to.
Isn't that exactly what we said earlier? That is such an unpleasant thought, Emma. Well, at least Heartbreak Maniac will slow down now that he's lost his weapon, right?
He didn't lose it, he chose to leave it behind. That tells me he's confident he can do just fine without it. And it just makes me even more certain that these aren't his only kills.
Were there other shootings with the same MO?
No, not that I've found.
Other victims that fit the description?
No, but I'm not overly focused on the victim's appearance anyway. I mean, these 6 victims all look like each other, but they also look like a lot of people.
Huh. That's true, I suppose.
Hell, they kinda look like me.
Huh. No. Morgan! Do they?
Sure. What, you don't see it?
I hadn't thought about it.
Point is, no one can kill that cleanly when it's their first time. Getting things that perfect takes practice. So I know that HK must have had a lot more than 6 occasions to practice, Morgan. And that's why I think heartbreak is a misnomer.
You've got something catchier in mind.
I just don't think shooting them in the heart has any particular significance. If anything, it's a testament to their accuracy and their cold-blooded efficiency. The best possible use of 6 untagged bullets. 6 kills guaranteed, no matter what kind of life support mods they were packing. Their real signature isn't the bullets or the gun, it's the perfection.
That is hard to wrap your head around.
I'm saying that these 6 murders were just a fluke, a slip-up,
I'm sorry, what? A mistake?
Exactly, a mistake. They got too clean, too efficient, and now they've got the public's attention. It's no wonder they're so pissed.
You talking about the crime scene?
Yeah, probably threw the detectives for a loop, right?
Based on what you said, I don't blame them. Whoever trashed that room doesn't seem like the smooth operator you've been describing.
On the contrary,
I don't follow.
this was the last bullet, their last shot. The other 5 were perfect. So if anything was out of place this time around, they must have thrown one hell of a temper tantrum.
You make them sound like some kind of a child.
Childish, and cowardly, and two-faced. Someone who hates to lose almost as much as they love to win.
Your profile tell you all that, huh?
That? No. That part's just... takes one to know one.
Huh. So to summarize, you're looking for a cold-blooded, faceless, perfectionist killer you think has no persistent MO or victim type.
In a city with an 8-digit population.
Well, good luck.
I don't need luck. I only need more information.
She's gonna get you, Light Yagami. She's gonna get you. Well, I'm sure the city would be happy to provide you with more resources.
No, Morgan. I mean, I need more crime scenes.
Oh.
Sad truth is, if Heartbreak walked away today, I'd never catch them. Only way my net narrows is if they keep piling up bodies.
Not a very fair trade now, is it?
No, it isn't. But getting screwed over is a given. It's a deal with the devil.
Fair enough.
Oh, okay, that rant was pretty morbid and detailed. I need to get out more, or sleep less but harder. You think a higher thread count would help?
I wouldn't worry about it. I'm always happy to listen to you ramble, though. It's a lot more pleasant than having to face you in the courtroom.
Sorry, but that's the adversarial process, so no hard feelings, yeah?
No hard feelings. We're both just doing what we do. What is this in the background here?
Huh?
I could use a cup of coffee, though. How about you?
Don't tempt me.
If you fall asleep face first onto the table, I won't even take a picture.
Okay. Just don't expect this to make a difference next time we're at each other's throats.
Heartbreak won't claim any more victims. In 2 weeks, the media will have moved on to the next sensation, and the police will have moved on to cases they can actually stand a chance of closing. It's what people do. But Emma is different. She'll set it aside and work a dozen other cases, never bringing it up. But a private corner of that frustratingly sharp mind of hers will continue to whittle away at it. Never finishing, but never quitting either. So I can't afford to take my eyes off of her. As long as that's the case, I may as well try to enjoy the view.
This game is great.
This is
I'm sold.
so good. I am so happy with this.
Who are you?
Who are you? Are we still in...
Which means you're going to be living with my friend for a while.
For how long?
I'm sorry, I don't know. There's no need to look that upset over it.
My face barely moved.
It may as well have been a blatant pout from where I'm sitting.
Huh.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah. This friend of yours, they're trustworthy?
Absolutely. In fact, I trust them more than anyone.
Huh.
Hey, come on, it'll be fun.
Really?
Really, educational too. I think you could stand to learn a lot from someone like Morgan.
Oh. Dingleberries. Oh, yeah. This was great. Thank you again, by the way, to all our patrons for suggesting we start this game, because this was incredibly fun. This is a serial episodic game, so I do think we're going to be playing more of this as it comes out. I know episode 1 is out right now, but we're probably not going to play that for just a little bit, but we will come and play it.
That puts us on how many episodic games at the moment? Like 5?
Enough. It puts us on enough episodic games that don't. Do you want the full list? All right. So Misericord, Spare Parts, Coquette Dragoon, Of the Devil are all episodic. I guess Ultra Kill also, but we're waiting between acts rather than updates. Dang, eating good. Do we count Chiconia? We haven't started yet, but we're not allowed to play the whole thing on the channel yet. I don't know.
You're the smartest person I know, Morgan, when it comes to people. Personally, I think it's cruel to bring something that flawed into the world. You're a criminal defense attorney and we're at a crime scene. I think I can guess what happens next. I've never stolen anything that wasn't already compromised.
Work hard and the company will have you set for life. And after, too. Can't tell you how many musicians I've seen screwed over by a big smile and a fat signing bonus.
So that's not just a lawyer job thing? You dress like a doorman on the weekends, too?
Compared to determining fault, determining cause of death is like a breath of fresh air.
The company wheels don't stop spinning for anything.
Can't hope to keep this quiet for very long.
But it's 1,000,000 times more likely than the alternative, that Heartbreak could ever stop themselves from killing.
Father said that you owed him. I don't do anything out of the goodness of my heart, but when I take a job, I never half-ass it. Oh, it's a trailer! An idle mind is the devil's play. We got it. I get how this works. Episode 0 results. 2 out of 2 articles. 6 out of 6 profiles. 18 out of 18 key items. All a piece of evidence. Yeah!
Pretty good.
Congratulations. Go for it.
You finished episode 0 with 35 credit. You've also unlocked concept art and bonus scenarios based on your highest score for episode 0. You also have 35 remaining store credit to spend on phone charms and case colors based on the highest credit you finished this episode with. Wow.
Wow! Actually? Wait, bonus scenarios? Oh gosh, there's more. Are we gonna... Oh, hold on. This is more of a commitment than I thought for this recording session we're doing here. Hold on. We'll look at these, but not right now. For right now, we're gonna say goodbye to this episode right here. And maybe when we're coming into episode 1, we'll catch up on some of the older stuff. How's that sound?
Sounds like a plan.
See you next time, everyone. Bye.
Peace, y'all.
Smash that like, comment and subscribe.